Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Aiden Isaiah Maynard Palmer.
Mr. Maynard. I have citations here from April the 5th, charging you with threats and intimidation, disorderly conduct, 2 counts, 1 count of criminal trespass, and 1 count of shoplifting. 5457 East Pima. I'm going to appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges, release you on these charges because you've got that big felony hold, so you're not going anywhere for a while anyway.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're not to go back to 5457 East Pima or have contact with any of the victims in this matter. Do you understand that?
Understood, Your Honor.
Well, I'd suggest you not discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Sleeping. While I sleep, I move around a lot and I bump my head because I have a rest of sleep. I'm yeah. Well, I'm gonna sit.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Veronica Marquez.
Ms. Marquez. I have a citation here from May the 1st, charging you with theft, shoplifting, alleged occurred at 1898 South Mission.
Shoplifting?
Yes.
The only thing I took was a cup of ice, and the guy gave me permission.
Well, let's see. According to this, there were other items, but that's neither here nor there. We'll appoint the City
Okay.
Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges, release you on these charges, set a review hearing for June the 6th, or June the 20th, excuse me, at 9 o'clock in the morning. And you're not to go back to the incident location.
Okay, so I'm being released on this charge?
On this charge, yes. It'll track
Okay.
with your other misdemeanor. You've still got the felony hold though, so.
Will you please tell me what the felony hold is for?
It's an ag DUI, driving under the influence of intoxicating liquor or drugs while on a suspended license. And given the dates here, my best guess is that your preliminary hearing is going to be on your birthday on Monday.
Right. Is there any penitentiary charges behind that?
I don't have full information. I don't show any. I think that's the only hold you have.
Right, but am I looking at like penitentiary charges?
It's a felony,
Okay.
so it's possible. I'd
Okay,
suggest
so
I'd suggest you don't discuss that issue with anyone except your attorney.
Okay, because I don't know who my attorney is. Do you by any chance know who it is?
It would be somebody in the public defender, the county public defender's office, but I don't have that information.
Okay,
All right?
okay, thank you. Thank you.
Lopez?
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you are,
Margo Lopez.
counsel wish to waive reading?
Yes, Your Honor.
Alma, do you want to message whoever the county attorney is tonight? Who is the county attorney? Oh, okay. All right, so it's on hold, so I wasn't sure. All right, we'll appoint the legal defender's office to represent you on these charges. Did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions? Given that he's already being held on a substantial bond.
Your Honor, he's a lifelong resident of Tucson and has ties to the community. He's been homeless and doesn't have money to post any amount of bond. He also has a federal detainer and is not going to be released from custody. I'd ask you to set the bond in this matter at $1,000.
Any input from the state? I do not have any report, any bond order or request on this matter. All right, preliminary hearing date will be May the 16th. Bond will be $1,000. You need to report to Pima County Sheriff's Department Identification Unit within 1 business day of your release. All right, thank you, Mr. Lopez.
I'm going.
Sullivan.
Sullivan.
John.
Hang
Come here.
up. Oh, Sullivan, let's go. You're gonna sit right here. Oh, yes.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shea, and you, sir, are,
John Edward Sullivan. Yeah,
Oh,
Down, loop around here.
We can be in here.
Oh, well, no, I don't know. Those are very long, I
Mr. Sullivan, animal complaint here charging you with second-degree murder, domestic violence. We'll appoint Mark Resnick to represent you on these charges. Did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions of release?
Yes, Your Honor. He lived in Tucson for 39 years and has ties to the community. He is connected with behavioral health services through COPE. He does not have the financial ability to post any significant amount of bond. In terms of the interim complaint, I would ask the court to take a close look at that. The relationship between the cause of death and the defendant's alleged conduct is tenuous at best. It lists a heart attack, a heart defect, and alleged conduct by the defendant as possible causes. I understand that probable cause is a low standard, but certainly at this point, there are possible other explanations for the cause of death, and I would ask the court to take the relative weakness of the evidence at this point into account in setting a bond. He should be presumed innocent as to the cause of death. And so I would ask you to set the bond in this matter at $10,000.
Mr. Raptis, we do not have your written order yet, your written request yet.
Yes, Judge. I apologize. I'm still, I was actively working on the bond recommendation for Mr. Sullivan.
These
Would
should
the
have been
court like me
done,
to?
these have been done and transmitted to the court at a minimum of a half an hour ago, preferably 45 minutes ago.
Yes, Judge. Yes,
This timing is not acceptable, Mr. Raptis. And what is your recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's recommending a bond amount of $100,000, considering the nature of the offense in this case.
Preliminary hearing date's May 16th at 1:30. Bond will be $50,000. No alcohol, illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons, no contact with the victim's family. Patient.
Put me somewhere.
No alcohol in your residence or vehicle. You're not going anywhere that alcohol is served or consumed. And I'd suggest you not discuss the matter with anyone except your attorney. Thank you, Mr. Sullivan. So,
Yes, sorry about that.
in jail, do we have any Spanish speakers that you're aware of?
No, Your Honor, there's none.
Ms. Ordono, you may be excused. If we find we need you, we'll get a hold of you. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Do we now have multiple defendants in the courtroom?
Yes, Your Honor.
This is addressed to everyone in the court. Good evening. I'm Judge Shayette. This is the time set for arraignment. The time for you to be formally advised of charges against you. You made a section release in your next court date. It is not the time to talk about facts of cases or ask that charges be dismissed. Conditions of release will always include that you violate no laws, that you appear at all court dates, that you remain in the state of Arizona unless you receive permission of the court to leave the state. You may be given multiple court dates in different courts. That attorney may not represent you on all charges. It may just be one court. So be sure that you appear at all of your court dates. And you, sir, are
Andres Davila.
Mr. Davila. I have a number of things here for you. I have a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court for shoplifting. No, actually, let's go to Sarita first. Possession of paraphernalia. March 7th of 2022. Warrants dated February 20th of 2024, so there are probably some failures to appear in between there. We'll appoint Joseph Ezzo to represent you on these charges. I'll reduce the bond from $1,000 to $500.
Thank you.
No alcohol or illegal drugs. Your next court date will be May the 13th at 3:00 in the afternoon. We have a warrant out of Pima County Justice Court for shoplifting, February 1st of 2024. Warrant is dated July 26th of 2024. So apparently failure to appear on that as well.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to get.
Just, you know, some.
Bond on this will be $100. You're not to return to the incident location. Court date on this will be tomorrow at about 1:00. And you're not to return to the incident location. And you said they turned that thing off. They copied Sarita, JP. Then I have charges out of Tucson City Court. Charges for shoplifting on December the 2nd of 2022. 4040 North Oracle. Along with failures to appear. And charges for criminal trespass, 3909 North Oracle, possession of paraphernalia, November 22nd, 24th of 22, and again, failures to appear. City Public Defender's Office will represent you on these charges, although you will be released on these charges. So there'll be a review hearing on June 20th at 9 a.m. Thank you, Mr. Davila.
Thank you.
Out the door, take a seat. Please. Charges. Take that shit.
Good evening, I'm Judge Aiden. You, sir, are
Reginaldo Hawkins.
Mr. Hawkins. I have a number of things here for you. Charges from June 22nd of 2023, shoplifting, possession of paraphernalia, and criminal trespass. Warrant was issued on November 7th of 2024. Also have charges from August 13th of 2023 for shoplifting and criminal trespass. One of these will be $100. You're not to go to the incident locations. No alcohol or illegal drugs. Robin Ald is appointed to represent you. Your next court date on these two matters will be tomorrow at about 1 o'clock. And I'd suggest don't discuss the matter with anyone except your attorney.
Good.
Bond on this will be $250. Again, it's a shoplifting. February 28th of 24. So you do appears dated October the 31st of 24. Michael Vaughn will represent you on these matters. Court date about tomorrow morning at 10. Then I have a stack of files out of Tucson City Court. Charges from April 14th of this year, possession of paraphernalia and criminal trespass. 3402 South 6th, failure to appear in court. Charges for criminal trespass on March 24th of this year. 3355 South 6th. Failure to appear on April the 7th. Charges for criminal trespass on November 2nd of 2023. Again at 3402 South 6th. Along with failures to appear, including after you were released from pretrial services. Charges for possession of paraphernalia and criminal trespass on January 6th of 2024, failing to appear on January 7th of 2024. That was at 3900 East Speedway. Remaining in the park after hours, February 7th of 2024, failing to appear in court. It's at Santa Rita Park. Criminal trespass, possession of paraphernalia on April 25th of last year. 3301 South 6th. Will appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Bond will be $250. If you post the bond and you're released on everything else, then your court date will be June the 3rd at 9 o'clock in the morning in the Tucson City Court. However, if you're still in custody on May the 16th, you'll be seen on video on that day unless your attorney asks to move it. But you don't go to those infinite locations and no alcohol or illegal drugs. Thank you, Mr. Hawkins.
Oh, dude. Go out the door, take a seat.
Anthony.
Good evening, I'm Judge Aiden, and you, sir, are
Anthony Parr.
Mr. Parr. Warrant here out of Pima County Justice Court, charges for criminal damage alleged occurred on August the 29th, excuse me, of 2023. Bond on this will remain at $2,499. Janet Altshuler will be appointed to represent you. Your next court date will be tomorrow at about 10 o'clock in the morning. Also have warrants out of Tucson City Court. Or charged out of Tucson City Court. Current charges for possession of paraphernalia and remaining on a traffic median. And charges for criminal trespass, possession of prescription-only drugs on February the 18th. The city of Oracle and Navajo. And failing to appear in court on March the 20th.
I'll fuck it up and take it back.
Bond on this will be $250. City Public Defender's Office is appointed to represent you. You're not within 3 blocks of Wilmot and Broadway or Oracle and Navajo. If you post the bond, your court date's June the 9th. At 2 o'clock. If you haven't posted the bond, you'll be seen on May the 16th at about 1:45. Thank you, Mr. Parr.
Or this.
Mr. Parr, citation is charging you with domestic violence assault, 3 counts of domestic violence disorderly conduct.
He's walking. Want me to pop on, let's take you.
5 minutes? Wise Brian. Sullivan.
Your next court date on this matter is going to be May the 16th at 10:30 in the morning in the Pima County Justice Court. Do you understand that you need to be present at that time?
Yes, Your Honor.
No acts of domestic violence and no alcohol or illegal drugs. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Parr.
Over here. Over here. Over here. Thanks. Wait, this way, girl. We're gonna see the judge, and then we're gonna get to the fuck out of here.
Follow me again.
Over here.
Follow me.
Over here. Sit in this chair.
Good evening, I'm Judge Aiden. You are,
Brianna Glass.
Ms. Glass, citation here charging you with domestic violence assault, domestic violence disorderly conduct. Alleged occurred earlier today.
I guess so. I didn't even know what they were charging me up.
When was the last time you met with Cope?
I haven't just yet because I don't have a working phone, and I honestly don't want one because they get stolen. It's a big story. I don't have a place to even stay. I'm living on the streets. I just don't. I mean, I feel like the mental health part, like all that part, isn't helping for me at all anymore. It's making me more sick and stressed and all that stuff more than anything else. And I have my peer to court certification in that as well. Mental health is a story in my life. I've been on medication since I was 9 years old. It don't help no more.
Well, we'll once again appoint the City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges.
That's Roach, meaning armor.
Your bond is $5. You're not to have any contact with Linda. You're not to go back to her residence. Within 3 blocks of her residence. Next court date will be May the 12th at 1:45. Thank you, Ms. Glass.
So you should feel both.
Hands up.
Right. Primo. Duda. Right there.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
My name is Tony Salazar.
Mr. Salazar. Interim complaint charging you with shoplifting. Alleged occurred earlier today at Quick Trip.
Yes. I'm at.
Will appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges? And did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions?
Your Honor, given the
Judge,
overall.
just that the. Pardon,
Go ahead.
pardon, Judge, just that I would just recommend that, Mr. Salazar not return to the incident location. And,
Anything in addition to
Yeah, in
your
addition-
recommendation, since we actually have a
Oh.
recommendation on this one?
okay, no, Judge.
And Your Honor, given the overall legal situation, no objection to the state's request.
All right, preliminary hearing date will be May 16th at 1:30. Bond will be $1,000. If you post the bond, you'll be distributed pretrial services, no alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't go to the incident location or any Quick Trip stores. Do you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Salazar.
Whoa, no.
What?
No yelling.
And do we have multiple defendants in the courtroom again or one at a time?
Multiple, Your Honor.
Let me address everyone in the courtroom. Good evening. I'm Judge Shayette. This is the time set for initial appearances. If you have misdemeanor matters, may also be arraignment on those matters. It is the time for you to be formally advised of charges against you. Conditions of release in your next court date. It is not the time to talk about facts of cases or ask that charges be dismissed. Conditions of release will always include that you violate no laws, that you appear at all court dates, that you remain within the state of Arizona unless you receive permission of the court to leave the state. There may be additional conditions based on your history, your circumstances, and the events that occurred. I would suggest you not discuss these matters with anyone except your attorney, and then only when there are no other witnesses present. And you, sir, are
Damien Akers.
Mr. Akers, interim complaint charging you with third-degree burglary and organized retail theft. These are alleged to occurred on the 17th of April. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. Did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
No, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. He's a lifelong resident of Tucson with ties to the community. He's 23 years old, so he's a young adult. He's currently homeless and unable to post any amount of bond. I'd ask you set the bond in this matter at $3,000.
And Mr. Raptis, your recommendation refers to the defendant being on probation or release. Can you tell me where you see this? I do not see that.
Yes, Judge. Let me see. That was on the pretrial services report. See, I'm pulling it up. Okay, Judge. Curiously, the Akers file doesn't actually appear to be showing up on the pretrial services site anymore. I don't know what happened with the.
I can see it. And yes, Mr. Raptis, at this time, he is on release for other charges. If you look at attachment A, he's no longer on probation for anything. And if you actually look at the report, you will see that the matter he is on release for is alleged to have occurred after this incident, not before.
I see that now, Judge.
All right, preliminary hearing date will be May the 16th at 1:30. Bond is $5,000. If you post the bond, you'll be distributed of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't return to the incident locations. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Akers.
Take a seat outside.
Doza.
Hmm? Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Luis Tossa. Good evening. Your Honor.
good evening. Pretrial's being uncooperative. Give me just a moment.
Shush.
I mean, it has to be coming from somewhere else because the prosecutors had that problem in the past too. Mr. Dozal, current
Yes.
charging you with possession of narcotics, possession of paraphernalia. Alleged to have occurred. Looks like earlier today. Appoint legal defender's office to represent you on these charges. That either counsel wish to be heard on conditions. Noting the defendant is steps eligible.
No, Judge.
Your Honor, he's a lifelong resident of Tucson and has ties to the community. He's currently employed. Pretrial services spoke to his brother, who indicated he could take third-party custody and provide housing and transportation for the defendant. And this also appears to be a personal use drug matter for which he's steps eligible. I would ask the court to consider releasing him. If the court is inclined to oppose a bond, I request $1,000.
I'm concerned about history and failure to prepare history post his last incarceration. So bond will be $1,000. Steps hearing will be May 13th at 9 a.m. Preliminary hearing will be May 16th at 1:30. You're not returned to the incident location. No alcohol or illegal drugs.
Yes, Your Honor. So,
Your bond on this matter will be $250. You're not to return to the incident location. Janet Altschuler is appointed to represent you on these charges. Court date will be tomorrow at noon.
um,
Then we have charges out of Tucson City Court. Resisting arrest, possession of paraphernalia, July 2nd of 2024. So about 10 days after you got out of custody. And then failing to appear in court on July the 15th. We'll appoint City Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. I'll release you on these charges. No alcohol or legal drugs, substance abuse assessment, behavioral health assessment, and recommended treatments if you're out of custody. Next court date on this matter is June the 20th at 9 a.m. If you're out of custody, you need to be present. Thank you.
yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Are you gonna move the Alvarez matter? Is it post-release?
Take a seat. Addison Hall.
Yeah, that's fine.
Out the door. Door. Night.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Addison Hall.
Master Hall. Interim complaint here charging you with criminal damage. Alleged occurred earlier today. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions of release?
No, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. He's lived in Tucson for 6 years and has ties to the community. He does have one prior felony, but he earned a redesignation as a misdemeanor. He's currently unemployed and homeless and unable to post any amount of bond. I'd ask that the court set the bond in this matter at $3,000.
Might be released.
No, you're on release to pretrial services. The state could have requested that you be held without bond because these are new charges while you've already got something pending. Preliminary hearing date will be May 16th at 1:30. Bond will be $5,000. If you post the bond, then you'll be released to pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't go in any Walmart stores.
Yeah. Get out.
And again, I suggest do not discuss the matter with anyone except your attorney. I also have charges out of Tucson City Court for criminal damage. And failing to appear in court on April the 10th.
I was in court that day and I couldn't make it to court because I was at court in jail. I figured someone would understand that. I guess not.
Well, they check the in custody list before they issue the warrants. So perhaps your dates are mixed up. I will release you on this and set a review hearing for June the 20th at 9 o'clock in the morning. If you're out of custody, you need to appear. If you're still in custody, then the city public defender's office will appear on your behalf. You're not to return to the incident location. And again, no alcohol or illegal drugs or contact with any victims. Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Thank you.
Good.
And Alma, do you have Lewis and Mann as co-defendants?
Sit back.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Joshua Lewis.
Mr. Lewis. Any complaint charging with possession of dangerous drugs, possession of paraphernalia? We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges. And did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions released? I am concerned because we have 2 misdemeanor files, also drug related, and with failures to appear.
Nothing further, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor, he's lived in Tucson for 10 years and has ties to the community. He's currently unemployed and not able to post any amount of bond. This does appear to be a personal use drug matter, and it does appear that he's eligible for steps to screening. I would ask the court to consider his release if the court, based on it's indicated are its concerns, would like to impose a bond. I'd ask that it be reduced to $1,000.
Mr. Lewis, would you like to address my concerns about your failures to appear?
At the time I was homeless, and which is no longer an issue for myself. So it wouldn't be an issue going forward with that. Yeah, no, I have somebody that living with, yes. But I was previously homeless, and that's why I was not able to get mail, and that's why I wasn't able to appear in court.
Well, you would have been given those court dates by the officer when you were given the ticket, not,
Yes, that is correct. Yes.
so no mail involved.
Yes, I do understand that. It's just it's difficult being homeless. You know, your stuff gets stolen quite often, and it's yeah, no excuse. I know.
All right. Is counsel willing to waive time for preliminary hearing?
Yes, Your Honor.
You may be eligible for a diversion program. This matter will be screened for that. So your next court date is going to be May the 13th, the week from today at 9 o'clock in the morning in Pima County Superior Court. Do you understand that you need to be present at that time?
I do. Yes.
Preliminary hearing date right now is set for June 20th at 1:30. You'll be under the supervision of pretrial services, no alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't go back to the incident location. You don't have any contact with Ms. Mann except through legal counsel. Do you understand that?
Do yes.
Now we'll address the misdemeanor matters. Possession of paraphernalia, September the 13th of 2024. Alvernon on 27th, failing to appear on September the 26th. On April 1st of 2023, possession of paraphernalia, failing to appear on those matters as well. Your next court date in Tucson City Court is June the 9th at 9 o'clock in the morning. You're not to go back to 3689 East Broadway. No alcohol, illegal drugs, and you need to comply with pretrial services and steps. Do you understand that?
I do. Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Thank you.
Man. Man. Man.
Hello.
Good evening, I'm Judge Fayed, and you are?
I'm Marisol Man.
This man in a complaint charging you with possession of dangerous drugs and possession of paraphernalia. In complaint charging possession of narcotics and possession of paraphernalia. Occurred earlier today. We appoint legal defender's office to represent you on these charges. Did either counsel wish to be heard on conditions? Further on conditions?
No, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. She has no prior felony convictions. She's a lifelong resident of Tucson. She's unemployed, so even $500 would be too much for her to pay. This also appears to be a personal use drug matter. I'd ask that you release her to pretrial services.
Preliminary hearing date will be May 27th at 1:30. Will be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. Be sure you stay in contact with them and follow through with their directions. No alcohol or illegal drugs, no contact with your alleged co-defendant except through legal counsel. You don't go back to that incident location. Additionally, under the supervision of pretrial services, you will do substance abuse and behavioral health assessment and treatment. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you, Ms. Mann.
Thank you.
Grab your stuff. Back up the door, please. Patrico. Outside.
Good evening. I'm Judge Fade, and you, sir, are
Jerome Patrico.
Mr. Pacheco. Interim complaint charging with possession of narcotic drug, possession of dangerous drug. We'll appoint legal advocate to represent you on these charges. It appears that you may be eligible for a diversion program known as STEPS. So we'll set a STEPS hearing for May 13th at 9 a.m. in Pima County Superior Court. Given that there is a parole hold, did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
No, Judge.
Your Honor, in light of the hold, no objection to the state's request for $1,000.
$1,000 bond, pretrial services. Post that bond. Preliminary hearing date's May 16th at 1:30. You're not to return to the incident location. Thank you, Mr. Petro.
Order.
Good evening, I'm Judge Shade, and you, sir, are
Praise for
Minister Swur. Interim complaint charging with burglary in the third degree, alleged to have occurred earlier today. So appoint legal defender's office to represent you on these charges, and did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Yes.
Your Honor, he has no prior felony convictions. He's lived in Tucson for 6 years and has ties to the community. He's homeless and unable to post even $500 in bond. I'd ask the court to consider releasing him to pretrial services.
Mr. Swur, the issue is willing to appear in court on some matters. What can we do to get you to show up in court?
Oh. I know excuses. I just I'm on the streets and it's hard to do that.
There's.
But if I get free trial, I will follow the guidelines and I will make sure it's.
I will give you a chance and release you to pretrial services this time. But you need to comply with them. You need to meet with them. You need to comply with substance abuse and behavioral health assessments and treatment as they direct. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You don't go back to the incident location or any Circle K stores. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
We also have, as I mentioned, the charges out of Tucson City Court. Remaining a traffic median on April the 19th, Grant and Craycroft. Failing to appear in court. Citations from May 29th of last year for assault, 2 counts of domestic violence, disorderly conduct, 1 count of contributing to dependency of a minor, and then failing to appear in court. And charged with possession of paraphernalia on May 29th of 2024. And again, failing to appear in court. Your next court date on these matters is going to be June the 10th at 9 a.m. Your attorney does not represent you on these charges. Your attorney says you don't need to come to court. You still need to be in court on June the 10th at 9 a.m. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You're not to go back to the vicinity of Craycroft and Grant. You're not to have contact with the victims in this matter. That's Sarah Gordon and the child, except through Superior Court Order or DCS. You're not to go near their residence. And again, substance abuse and behavioral health assessment and recommended treatment. Thank you.
Stafford.
Go out the door. It's true.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Victor Stafford.
Mr. Stafford. Interim complaint charging you with domestic violence, disorderly conduct with a weapon, and disorderly conduct with a weapon alleged occurred earlier today. We'll appoint public defender's office to represent you on these charges, and at either counsel wish to be heard on conditions.
No, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor. He's lived in Tucson for 35 years and has ties to the community. He's currently not employed, and any amount of bond is going to be a lot for him to post. Pretrial services spoke with the victim, who did not object to his release. I'd ask the court set the bond is $7,500.
Preliminary hearing date will be May 16th at 1:30 in the afternoon. Bond will be $15,000. Pretrial services supervision, if the bond is posted. If no contact with the alleged victims, you don't go back to the incident locations, that entire complex. No alcohol or illegal drugs. And it's suggestion to discuss this matter with anyone except your attorney.
Understood.
And also behavioral health assessment and treatment.
Oh, having a big one.
I also have a warrant here. Charges that go back to January 3rd of last year. Disorderly conduct, threats and intimidation, possession of paraphernalia, and then failing to appear on January the 16th. Release you on these charges. Again, no alcohol or illegal drugs, no acts of domestic violence, no firearms or weapons. You don't go back to, you don't have contact with the victims in this matter. You don't go back to 612060 Speedway. Again, behavioral health assessment and treatment. City Public Defender's Office will represent you on these. If you are still in custody, they will take care of the matter for you on that date. If you're out of custody, you need to appear on June the 20th at 9 a.m. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Stafford.
Dennison. Go out the door.
Good evening. I'm Judge Shade, and you are
Roy Van Dusen.
Mr. Van Duda. Interim complaint charging you with possession of dangerous drug, possession of narcotic drug, and possession of paraphernalia, alleged for November 30th of 2023. We'll appoint Public Defender's Office to represent you on these charges. Did either counsel wish to be heard further on conditions?
Your Honor, he's lived in Tucson for 2 years and has ties to the community. He is homeless and unemployed and unable to post bond. This also appears to be a personal use drug matter. I'd ask the court to consider releasing him to pretrial services.
You understand when you've got a court date, Mr. Van Dusen, you need to appear.
Yes, ma'am.
Appears that you may be eligible for a diversion program called STEPS. They'll review the case. There'll be a hearing on May the 13th. That's a week from today at 9 a.m. in Pima County Superior Court. If you're accepted into the program and you successfully complete it, these charges will be dismissed without a formal charge. And counsel waiving time for PH.
Yes, Your Honor.
Preliminary hearing date will be June 20th at 1:30. You'll be released to the third-party custody of pretrial services. No alcohol or illegal drugs. You need to comply with steps. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I also have charges out of Tucson City Court today for possession of paraphernalia. Your next court date on this matter will be June the 9th at 2:30 in the afternoon in Tucson City Court. Your attorney does not represent you on these charges. You need to appear. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Regardless of what your attorney tells you. You need to comply with pretrial services and steps. Right. Thank you, Mr. Van Dusen.
Thank you.
I don't have any other files.